Day 1 journey, episode 1416. This is a quote from the craftsman. Part of me that wants to grow, that wants to get better, that wants to develop skills. Passive learning gives you knowledge. Active learning gives you power. So I was struggling a bit with the definition of learning. What is learning? What's just the accumulation of information, or becoming powerful? Powerful meaning being competent, being able to do things. Yeah. There's what is learning Spanish? I can sort of understand the language a little bit better, but is it really learning when I don't know how to speak or understand? This is, well, so there's knowledge and there's applied knowledge. So people say knowledge is power. Well, applied knowledge is power. Application of the knowledge. Can you apply something when you're being passive? Can you apply something while watching YouTube videos? Well, only if you practice with them, right? If you watch, if you just sit and watch, you can't apply it. You can apply it when you're doing it yourself. If it's a follow along video and you're doing the yoga exercises with the YouTube video, amazing. This is you actually doing. This is you being active. It doesn't have much difference, at least for me, compared to being in a yoga class. Because you do something, you don't just sit down and watch. So I think the biggest difference is between the passive and active. I think it's very easy, it's very comfortable to sit down and watch YouTube videos that gives us the feeling of getting better or learning. Now, we do accumulate knowledge. Sometimes the knowledge is very good. But what do we do with it at the end of the day? How do we apply it? What effort do we put behind the information and knowledge that we just acquired? Is it real power? Just sitting there and watching, being able to recite all the videos that we did? Even to recite them, but you do it on a video and you do it in your own language, well, this is actually practicing. Because you practice being behind the camera. You practice translating it to your own language. Or you change the message, or you talk about it. This is active because you produce something, even though it's like sort of a copy paste of someone else. You still produce something. You still practice. It's still active. So I consider active learning, which leads to power, real power. And what is power? It's not just power. Power is the ability to do things. Knowledge is, well, things that you know inside your mind. There's a difference between the things that you know and the things you're able to do. It's not the same. And what is learning? Well, that might be a philosophical question. What is learning? It's only the doing, or is it just memorizing facts or understanding bigger concept? Well, in order to become powerful, it is both. You need to understand the theory, you need to accumulate the knowledge, the understanding, but then you need you need you need to get your hands dirty. Yeah, you need to do something about it. You need to get off the couch to do something. Yeah, it's not enough just to watch the videos. They tell you all the tips and tricks and tactics to do whatever you want to do, whether it's being a better communicator, better with, I don't know, creating relationships, being with friends, being charismatic, or is it, working out, getting stronger, getting fitter, getting faster. It would Nobody would do the the push-ups for you. It does require effort. Just sitting and just watching is comfortable. You can get some knowledge, but the question is how much of your time you're putting in watching passively versus practicing, executing actively. Maybe it's also about the belief. How much does it need to be? And what is more important? Well, what is more important can be a bit a tricky question because once you say one thing is more important, you can always say, well, knowledge is more important because if you have zero of this, what would you apply? So knowledge is important because it comes first. Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree. Yeah? Because if you don't execute, then what? So both are important. Yeah. So what is more important is a confusing question, it's a tricky question, and maybe it's not the question to ask. I think the question to ask is what is the balance? Let's say you have 1 hour. How would you put this 1 hour? Just watch YouTube videos, or maybe watch one YouTube video and then practice for half an hour. So I think it's about 10 to 90. 10% being passive, just consuming the information, and then 90% executing, which can be it's being active. Yeah, it's not necessarily practicing the same thing. It might be asking questions. It might be taking notes. It might be thinking about the questions that you want to ask. This is you being active. It's not just you sitting down, feeding yourself out of the video. Does it make sense? Active. And by the way, when you watch something, you can, you know, the effort is between you and you. Nobody knows how much effort you put in, even while watching something. Because you can watch something just cruising around. Yeah, I'm just watching, not actually being concentrated. But you can watch, be concentrated, and reflect about the things that you do. What would I do in this situation? Hmm. How would I use this strategy? So you can still be active or just sitting down. Yeah. Because effort is between you and you. So you can still be more active or just sitting down watching the video. Yeah. So there's no specific line between passive and active. Yeah. Because it's about effort, and effort is between you and you. You can fake it. You can fake everything. Yeah. You can sit down as if you're listening and you're not listening. Let's say you did listen and then you go to practice. You can also fake it out. You sort of make it seem as if you're practicing. So your coach will see that you're practicing. Your mom will see that you're practicing. Effort is between you and you. And whatever you want to do will require effort. You want to be a singer, a dancer, whatever. Yeah, it will require effort because it's something active. Unless what you want to do is consume information, you'll make the decision. Are you a consumer or are you a producer? Up to you. Amazing day, day one. See you tomorrow.